Okay, so your presenters for today are Cynthia Woodfolk Johnson. Cynthia is a multitasking poet and artist. She is also a grandmother that has a child in Chicago Public Schools. So Cynthia graduated from Columbia College Chicago with a Master's of Arts in Writing and has served as a guest writer in schools and community centers for the last 20 years. And then we also have Rick Graham, a Chicago artist and arts educator. He retired from full-time teaching in 2018 after 22 years. His recent work in community and school-based murals and community organizing. Rick also sings with and produces virtual choir videos for his church choir. So Rick and Cynthia, I'm going to hand it over to you and tell us all about how to create a mantra.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to see your beautiful faces. Hello, Alicia. Hi, Yamika, Joanne, Allison. Woo, Raquel, you know you're the girl. It's so good to see you all. The first thing I want to ask you is, what is a mantra? Who knows what a mantra is? Now, don't everybody jump in there at once. Yamika, I can see from your face, you're like, I kind of, sort of, a little bit. Who knows what a mantra is? Anyone? If you know, just unmute yourself and tell me. If you think you know, if you have an inkling of an idea, just tell me what it is. There's no right or wrong answer here. Anyone?
I think it's a sound that doesn't give you a picture in your head, but relaxes you.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Allison, what do you think the mantra is? Who is that? Chantel? Come on, talk to me. Come back.
I was going to say I agree with Joanne. And it also just deals with meditation. It helps with the whole relaxation part of centering you right there.
Oh, I love that word you use, centering you right there. Where's the there? Where's the there? Someone tell me, where's the there? Say it again, Chantel.
With the center, I guess a quiet space, a place where it's uncluttered.
And I love that, right? Now, how many of us are looking for a space that's uncluttered in our minds and in our bodies? If you are, raise your hands. Okay, so can you tell that I really need a space that's uncluttered? I got both hands up, right? I see you, Chantel. You said me. Is that a capital M-E? Because that's me. That's what I'm thinking right now, right? So this workshop is going to help you relax, to be able to meditate, and to be able to heal. Because sometimes when you're carrying so much on you, it can affect your mental health as well as your physical health, as well as your spiritual health. So I'm going to give you a Webster's definition of mantra. And when I say Webster's, that just means all the great minds, including yours. So a mantra is a concentrated meditation of a statement repeated frequently. So it's just you basically saying things over and over and over again. Now, we have all chanted a mantra in one way or another. So when you're singing a song, who has a favorite song that they love to hear on the radio? Or I said radio, God, did I just date myself? Okay, on Spotify, things like that. A favorite song of yours, raise your hand for your favorite song and call out the name of that. Raquel, what's your favorite song? What is it?
What is it? I like it. It's a little like In Your Feelings. It's called Not in That Way by Sam Smith. I feel like I really feel what he's saying. Like I feel like I am Sam Smith when I hear that song.
Okay. Now, what's one of the things that Sam Smith continues to repeat? Because he goes right to the chorus, right? So the chorus is that repeated line of the song. So what's the chorus that Sam Smith repeats?
I guess the song is it's a little sad song, but he talks about how he is in love with this person, but that person will never love him in the way that he wants it. So it's not in that way. So he says, you won't love me in that way.
So that's the thing that you remember, and that's the thing that you chant back, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So here's a little story. about mantras, right? About us using mantras every day, but we don't realize we're using it. So going out for a job, I found myself saying, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, I want this job, 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 I want this job. I got there and I said, let me get this job, please, let me get this job. Oh God, let me get this job, let me get this job. I want this job, I want this job, I want this job, I want this job. I kept repeating that thing so much so that somewhere inside myself, I began to claim it. I kept saying, I want this job, I want this job, that even when the interviewer was speaking to me, my mind was still going, I want this job, I want this job. And somewhere in the middle of it, it became, oh snap, the job is mine. And I started singing that. And guess what? The job was mine. I claimed it. So I chanted that thing over and over and over again, just by instinct, just by instinct. That excitement made me do it. Even in the favorite song, like what you're saying, Raquel, one of my favorite songs, and I hate to admit this, oh my God. Well, it's a bluegrass song and it's called Constant Sorrow. So I find myself saying, in constant sorrow and constant pain. Then my head starts to bob to it. And I wait for just that line in the entire song to keep going. In constant sorrow and constant pain, in constant sorrow and constant pain, in constant sorrow. Until when I got to school and one of the kids said, Miss Cynthia, how you feeling? I said, I'm in constant sorrow and constant pain. And he said, oh my God. And I thought I caught myself. I said, oh, I chanted that thing so much so that I claimed constant sorrow and constant pain, and then transferred that out to the kid where he was like, oh, that energy went right out. So this is just small ways of how we chant things that become, can I say, a unrealized mantra. It's instinctive. So what we're going to do with you today is to show you how you can channel that energy into a positive space where it can be used for a positive force for you, whether that be relaxation, whether that be peace, or whether that just be an improved health of mind. We're going to help you channel that by having you create your own mantra. And the way to start that is to, one, the purpose is to get you to release your mind of all your worries, of all your care, to take the day off. You say, this is Friday morning. It weighed on me so much, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to throw it off, to be able to take the day off and let it go, to boost your awareness of self, of how much power you actually have within yourself to change things for yourself. 3, to improve focused concentration, because we all know that sometimes at work, as my kids say, you have that's going on right there, right? Some little thing that's eating at you. So to be able to concentrate on the positive things that you need in that space at that time, so that you can just completely cut out the eat where it begins to turn just like that and go away. And then the last thing is to connect focal body dots, meaning where in my body I'm carrying the workload of the day, and how to make sure that that doesn't become, let's call it a painful spot, medical issue, or how we can even release that from those body spots by transferring that energy again in a positive way. And to be able to do that, I'm going to turn you over to Rick, who will help you with your breathing. So Rick, take it away.
So good afternoon, everyone. Y'all can hear me okay, right? Good. Okay. So you got the Webster's definition from Cynthia and an example. I have an example that when I used to work in museums, we would take like 2-3 weeks at a time to put up a new exhibit in the museum. And you'd be basically on call 24/7. And I'd start to feel something in the back of my throat, you know, that little raspy feeling you get, and then your sinuses. And I'd be like, no, it's only week 1. So I'd go to sleep and I'd just say, I can't get sick, so I won't get sick. I can't get sick, so I won't get sick. I can't get sick, so I won't get sick. All right, I can't get sick, so I won't get sick. All right. Anyway, we have those, are little examples. You probably have some things you've thought of in repetition like that before, but here's a question. What are the things we need to bring with us when we're doing a mantra? Tell me something, any one little thing you need to bring with you when you're doing a mantra. You can just unmute and shout out. You can raise your hand from the taskbar down below. I could pick on Alicia and say, Alicia, what one thing would you bring with you if you were doing a mantra?
The thing that was coming in my head, I was trying to reverse it as a positive, but the first thing I thought of is letting go of control. So I don't know if it's peace or openness.
So you got a willingness to let go of control. That's something that would be really helpful. What else can you bring with you for a mantra? What do you need in order to produce that mantra?
Rick, my energy is telling me that Yamika knows what you need to bring with you for a mantra.
We're just putting together pieces of a puzzle here.
Mm-hmm. You're muted, Yamika. We can't hear you.
Okay, I see Chantal, you have your hand up. What
positivity? Like bring my positivity to it.
Okay, cool. Yamika, I don't know if you can sign it.
She did type in the chat that her sound isn't working, but she would say she need belief.
Belief. Great. Okay, these are all things you need to have in your head while you're doing this. How are you going to produce that mantra? What things do you need in order to produce that mantra?
I think just a message that is encouraging to you.
A message, right? Words, maybe? Sure. What else?
Affirmations for me.
An affirmation. I like that. Again, it's probably a vocal, right? A word. What else? What do you need to produce that word?
Serena typed in intention. Intention.
Good. Joanne said a soothing sound as well. A soothing sound. So great. You need a sound. Can you do a mantra without sound? Or let's say, how would you do a mantra without sound?
Or maybe just movement, like a repetitious movement, maybe.
Cool. Okay. So we've got intention, we've got word, sound, we've got positivity, I think was brought up earlier, all those things. And there's one thing out there that's the sine qua non, that without which not. Something out there that you could not possibly do a mantra if you didn't have this. Okay, how do you produce that sound? How would you produce a sound?
Well, the sound comes from your insides.
Cynthia says the sound comes from inside. Great, Joanne. And Cynthia's pointing there with it. It comes from breath, right? So the thing you must absolutely have in order to produce a mantra is breath. Okay, without which, well, we're not going to be here long to produce that sound. Okay, you could produce it without food, and you could last for quite a while. You could produce it without water, and you could last for a good bit, but without breath, you're not going to be doing it for very long. So let's just start by breathing. So what I want you to do is get comfortable with your spine kind of erect, and a couple ways to do that. You could sit on the edge of your chair, or you could sit back into your chair with your back lightly touching the back. In either case, if you can, get your knees slightly below your hips. So that's pretty easy to do when you're sitting on the edge of the chair. You just bring your feet back a little bit. If you're sitting back in the chair like I do, sometimes you have to get your knees pretty far apart so they could drop below the edge of the chair. But if you notice, if you can get your knees down a little bit, you'll notice that'll pull your spine straight up. Okay? Okay, and so now we're just going to breathe. Just go ahead and take a breath. And I want you to take a breath and notice it coming in and out. And maybe it's better to just think of it as monitoring the breathing that you're already doing. You don't need to force it. Whatever happens within your body. Take a couple in and out. If you can breathe through your nose, that will be really good. The nose warms the air and it humidifies the air going into you. And there's also lots of nerve endings in your nose and in your sinus, and they send signals to your brain. Okay, so now I want you to notice as you're breathing where that breath is coming in. Now, it is coming in through your nose or through your mouth, but where in your body is it going? Is it up here in your chest? Can you feel movement in your chest? Do you feel movement maybe in your abdomen? And just notice where you happen to be breathing at this moment, because we're going to sort of take control of that in just a sec. And I'm going to tilt down a little bit. And what I want you to do is place your hand on your abdomen. And with a little pressure, press in and let the breath come out. And then inhale, and I want you to feel your abdomen pushing your hand away. And just do a couple of breaths like that. And then if you take your hand and find that point where your rib cage comes together, right up in here, press there and maybe hold your hand across. And with your next inhale, feel that rib cage expand a little. And maybe it's going to expand just a little bit to the sides as well as coming forward. And now I want you to place a hand up here near your neck. Feel for your collarbones. And if you breathe in, see if you can feel your collarbones. Put a little pressure there with your thumb and your fingers and feel that expand just a little bit. Now, if you take your hand away, I want you to take 3 or 4 breaths, nice and slow, and see if you can identify, without using your hands, you can identify the movement in your abdomen, in your rib cage, and up in your collarbones. And now I'm going to ask you to exhale just a little bit more than you've been exhaling. And you can use your abdomen, your belly, to push the last little bit of air out. And when you get it all out, then just relax that abdomen and feel it suck the air right into you. Now we're going to do just a little, it's called circular or cyclic or yogic breathing, where I want you to inhale from your abdomen, from your belly first. And then I want you to feel the ribs expand. And then I want you to feel last the collarbones expand. And when you exhale, do it just the opposite way. Squeeze in from the collarbones. Then feel your rib cage press in. And then feel your belly push out the last little bit. You don't have to starve yourself of oxygen. Just feel those sensations. Take 3 or 4 breaths that way. And I want you to notice as you're exhaling, if you feel your shoulders start to relax. You inhale, when you get that deep inhale into your collarbones, your shoulders might go up a little bit. As you exhale, just let them relax with you. And as you're doing that, I'm just going to snap fingers for a count. Can you hear it? And whatever your count is, I just want you to count inhaling, how many snaps you can inhale comfortably, and then count that number plus 2 or 3 more as you exhale. So we're inhaling maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm just going to snap because I'm going to let you count whatever it works for you. Some people can go double on the exhale and still inhale nice and slow and even. And now we got that breath going. I'm going to let you count on your own as you continue to breathe. And you might notice other parts of your body where you can feel your shoulders relax, but maybe you found some other part of your body where you can sense a little tension. So focus on that. And then your next exhale, try to relax that part of your body. And maybe you can work your way down all the way from the top of your head all the way down to your feet if you like. And if you feel like using your hand to help you concentrate on where you are in the body, you can just go ahead and do that as you're relaxing each part. Okay, I'm going to count backwards from 10, 9, 8, and then we'll slowly figure out our last breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath and just let it all out. You can wiggle around if you like. Tell me something you noticed while we were doing this exercise. Anything that popped into your mind or something in your body that you noticed as we were doing that?
I noticed that surprisingly, I didn't realize that I had like tension in my face. And as I was doing it, like I felt like my forehead relax, like this is gonna sound funny, like my nose relax, like just my face. And I didn't realize just how tense my face was, I guess. So yes, my face.
Cool. Cool. So I'm glad put your focus back up by the top of your head then. Someone else, what did you notice? Joanne, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I was feeling it almost like moving down my spine and my backbone.
Nice, nice. So the relaxation, could you feel it as you were exhaling? Was the breath moving that down?
Yes,
Great.
as I was exhaling.
Lovely. And you can think about the breath moving, you know, in reality, your lungs are here. That's where it's all going. But you've already noticed that you can feel that breath in other parts of the body. You can feel it, especially down here. You know, people talk about breathing through the belly. Now, it's all up here in the lungs, but you sense it through here as well, right? And then you can relax the shoulders and you can breathe in. I just had surgery last week on my knee. And one of the things that's really been helpful when I'm like laying in bed, if I'm in the wrong position, all of a sudden I get this pain and I just stop and I breathe. And as I'm exhaling, I might even just touch that area a little bit and I can feel the breath going into that part of the body and relaxing it a little bit. It's not easy, but it does work. Okay.
So this is a question for Raquel. Raquel, do you suffer with sinuses or headaches, tension headaches?
Yeah, so actually funny that you say that because currently, like every time that I sleep, I always wake up with a stuffy nose and I also suffer from cluster headaches. So yes, both.
Okay, the question comes because it's the breathing caused you to focus on that part of the body. And this is what this type of, as I call it, musical yoga, this is what it can do for you, this breathing exercise. It causes you to, and Joanne, do you have a situation with your back, sometimes having pain in your back?
Not so much. It's more just, I think it's just working, day to day, just kind of moving in odd directions and stuff like that.
Okay, so this is kind of sort of the same type of connection that we're having here, where the breathing can help the body focus on the parts that need it the most. You're sending oxygen to those parts of the body that's calling it forth the most by something as simple as breathing. My mother has a term for it, she calls it taking off the day. Sometimes when you are upset, people say, just breathe, breathe, breathe. Or when you're excited, they say, breathe, breathe, because they want you to take in that oxygen and send it through the parts of the body that needs it the most. So when Rick was asking you, he's asking you to take it in and touch, different parts of your body where you can feel where it's moving through your body. There's other places of where it can move. So this very next exercise that Rick is going to take you into, taking you into the tones, you're going to start to feel these movements in different places.
So now that we've got some breath, and that abdomen is a good way to support what we're going to do next, the abdomen and the rib cage. I want to start breathing again, but I want to start making a sound as you breathe. Now, I gotta tell you this. I love to sing. My bio has that I sing in my church choir, but I'm not gonna raise my hand when anybody says, are there any singers out there in the audience? I'm not gonna claim that. I love it, but you guys are among the select few people in my life that will hear me sing solo. So I say that because you'll hear, but also to let you off the hook, because I'm going to ask you to make some sounds too, And I would love to be able to hear some of the sounds that you're making. This would be a reasonable time to unmute. We're not going to try to do anything in a specific time because the lag in all this, we won't be doing it at the same time. But because you're going to be breathing at different times, you're going to be making sounds at different times, that's okay. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, just with your mouth closed, and we're going to be in this like vertical position that we assumed for the breathing. Spine's going to be straight to free up the abdomen. If you can get your knees a little bit below your hips, wonderful. That'll create the space to let the lungs open, right? And the first sounds we're going to make, it's just a sound. Okay, I want you to keep your lips closed. You don't have to clench your jaw, but keep your lips closed, your tongue against the back of your front top teeth. And that's a reasonable position, and it's pretty natural, and you're just gonna and if you feel like making it a tune, that's okay too. So just hum along with me here for a few breaths. Now, Miss Cynthia has been talking about like chanting along, singing along with a song. I'm sure some of you also hum along when you don't remember the words, right? I got something to tell you about humming. Okay, you ready? Nitric oxide is a powerful molecule that widens capillaries, increases oxygenation, and releases the smooth muscles. Hum increases the release of nitric oxide in the nasal passages 15-fold. So when you're humming, you're doing yourself a good favor, okay? I see Cynthia walking back and forth. In the Jewish faith, that's called deafening. Now, as you're humming, I want you to keep your lips together, but let your jaw go slack. Let your tongue drop and feel the difference inside your mouth. It might sound a little like this. Almost like a N. Maybe move your head around a little as you do it. Feel where the vibration is of that. Your mouth is slightly, if your jaw is down, your tongue is down, you might feel it in your lips. Tilt your head down, it might go down in your throat. And in our first position, with the tongue against your teeth and your mouth closed and your jaw not tight, but up there. See if you can feel that vibration around your sinuses. In singing, they call that the mask. And and that's a way to project your voice. I'm kind of a low talker. I got this really good mic here to help me, but my voice tends to get buried down in my throat like this. And when I'm working on it and I'm trying to project, I bring it up and I can feel the vibration in my cheekbones. Show me a raised hand on the screen or in your hand if you can feel that vibration and if you can feel it moving around in your head. Okay, now we're going to make another little sound. On your next big I want you to say ma.
Okay.
Ma, the first sound the baby makes. Ma. And when you're saying that sound, I want you to try to sense your throat. You can open your throat some. If you're already a singer, you might be doing that. But feel ma. Let that jaw really drop into ma. Now I'm going to give you a note and see if we can match the pitch. And I'm going to ask Miss Cynthia to sing this at the octave. I'm going to say, that's my male voice. You might be up here and up. Cynthia, can you give us a ma with that F? Okay, can you guys try to match that? It doesn't have to be pitched. Bring that voice up and notice where that voice is. It's coming up in your head. And if you get a nice big breath with the abdomen and you control your exhales, you can let that go forever, right? And you can change the shape of your mouth like you're singing oh or something like that. And feel the pressure from your abdomen as you start to get lower on air. Push from on there. And now let's take that pitch down a little bit. And I want you to notice, I'll sing one for you and see if you can hear a change in my voice as I go down. Ma, right there. Ma. My voice just went from my head into my chest. And it'll be different for you. But take those notes down so you can feel that vibration from here all of a sudden show up down here. And the same thing, you can give me a thumbs up if that just gets you down into that chest voice. Okay. Because I'm sorry I don't have the voice that most of you guys out there have. I can do it. I can. It's a little. And maybe we can go up a little higher too. Give me a wave if you felt that jump from your head, they call it the head voice, down to the chest voice. Did you feel a little jump in your body? Yes, I'm digging it. I'm liking it. You guys can feel this because later Cynthia's going to talk about placing the voice where you need the help. Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to fit right here, Rick.
Okay.
Since they've gone from the head to the chest, I'm going to take you down to an area that's called the bowels. The bowels. Now that's going to cause you to send this note from here. Let's say the head, Raquel, all in this area here. We're going to take it down through the chest. Joanne, we're going to send it directly through the chest down to the back, to the very lower part of your back, all the way down. And we're going to make that, Yamika, we're going to make that note land within our hips. It's going to actually jump within the hips. Allison, you're going to send your note through your shoulders and bring it all the way down to the tips of your fingers, your hands. Alicia, you're going to pull it all the way from the tip in here of your head, and you're going to cause it to melt like a trickle all the way down through this cavity, through the throat, until it falls deep, 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 deep into the hip area. And it's going to relax right there, what we call the bowels. So we're going to take it from the top of you, going, So take it all the way from there. Your breath, your tone, your breathing, your note, your word. Ready? On my count of 3, you're going to take in that deep breath, and your last bit of breath is going to wind up in those areas. You're going to send it from the top all the way out through the portions of your body until it lands in that area, and you're going to let it resonate there before you take your next breath. So 1, 2, 3. Deep breath. Blow your note out. Resonate. You're going to breathe in another breath, and you're going to send it right back out again. This time I want you to close your eyes and give your body to it. Concentrate on the areas that you are sending it to. See it as it goes there. Whenever you're ready, you start. You're not waiting for my count. You're just basically following the rhythm of my voice. See it go there. Take a look around for the sound that is there. Take a look around for the spaces in between that it took to get there. Continue to do it repetitiously. Be aware of all the spaces in between. The breath and the sound is traveling through. At the same time, I want you to think of your day, how you are going to relax your day. Let the relax come from the first note and roll all the way down to the bottom note where it hits in the bowels. And when it hits in the bowels and you take your next breath to breathe in, you're going to breathe in your wants. Let your body talk to you and tell you what it wants. What does it want from you? Breathe it in. Let the notes out and say what your body is asking of you. What do you want? This is I am. I am needing what? Let your body tell you. I am needing what? You're going to say that sentence. That is your breath. I am needing. And you blow it out. Let your answer come to you. So you breathe it in. And as you're breathing it out, sending it down to the bowels, to the fingers, through the arms, through the chest, through the back, let your body tell you what it needs. What is it drawing from the day? What do you want in this moment? Call it forth. Raquel, what do you want in this moment? Call it forth. I am needing. Call it forth. am needing peace. I am needing. Let it resonate in the bowels. Yumika, we can see yours. What's calling forth to you, Yumika? What do you need in this moment? Call it forth. Yes, call it forth. It's yours. That's where you'll get it from. Alicia, what are you needing in this moment? Call it forth.
I am needing surrender.
Change the sentence, Alicia, here. Say, I surrender.
I surrender.
Now take your time, breathe it in, and send that through your entire body. Send that surrender to your entire body. Claim it. Breathe it in and chant your mantra over and over again. That is your mantra. I surrender. Call it forth. Continue to call it forth. Taking deep breaths. Joanne, what are you needing in this moment? Call it forth. Verbalize it.
I am needing nature and health.
Say it again, Joanne. Call it forth. Send it through your entire body.
Nature's health.
Good. Say, I want. Take it.
I want nature's health.
Call it forth. Keep calling it forth.
Nature's health.
And Joanne, send it down into the depths of the bowels. Be aware of the spaces in between. Alicia, call it forth to the depths of the bowels. Yamika, call it forth. Let it resonate in the bowels before it rises again. Send it out. Chantel, what do you need in this moment? Keep calling it forth. Repeat it. Chant it. What do you need in this moment, Chantel? What is your body asking for? Allison, what is your body asking for? Raquel, what does it want? Call it forth.
I need faith.
Call it forth.
I want faith.
Call it forth again.
I want faith.
Now you're going to change the sentence. Say, I have faith. Call it.
I have faith.
That is your mantra. Call it forth again. Release yourself to it.
I have faith.
Call it forth in a different way. Everyone, call it forth 3 different ways. Keep calling it forth. Bring it forward. 3 different ways. Here it goes all through the body. All through the body. Be aware of where you're feeling the call from. Hold on to a note of it. Your last note is what you need. Stretch it out. Feel every syllable. Stretch it out. Call it forth again. Feel the vibration of it. Send it to the body. Now I'm going to have you pay attention to the volume. Bringing your volume down to you. You should be getting relaxed in it. Sometimes your mantra has the power to reach outside of you and touch everything that's around you. Be aware of the space. Feel the space around you. This is exactly what you're asking for. Don't let it leave you, Alicia. You have it. It's okay to surrender. Be aware of the spaces in between your call. What we're going to do, I'm going to count you down from 10. I'll make it to 1. You will open your eyes, you will Lift your hands up very slowly at the count of 10. By the time we make it to 1, you will lower your hands and you'll open your eyes slowly. So starting with 10, raise your hands slowly. 9, 8, remember surrender. 7, 6, begin to let them fall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eyes open. What was the experience like? How do you feel? Raquel, how do you feel? Are you relaxed?
I definitely am relaxed. It definitely helps, with visualizing everything. I mean, being in that moment, knowing what I needed. I mean, I really I will say honestly, I didn't even think that when I said faith, I didn't think I needed it, but clearly I did. So
the question is, faith in what or whom? That's where your mantra is going to lead you to.
Right.
Let it lead you to that question, answering that question. Alicia, talk about your experience if you don't mind.
When I raised my arms up and pulled them down, my whole body like cracked. And the way down, it's like my body just like, almost like my body just surrendered into just that little movement. I literally heard my body crack.
That's good. I saw it. You were beet red. When you said you need surrender, you were beet red. And then when you relaxed, your whole color changed. I kind of sort of fell into you for some strange reason. Yamika, I wish I could hear you. Type to me in the chat, Yamika. Talk to me. I got to hear some portion of you.
And Alicia, when you go to a chiropractor, those cracking sounds you heard, they refer to that as releases. Mm-hmm. So you were releasing. That surrender was happening physically.
Yeah, Joanne, Chantel, talk to me. Shaniqua, you said the humming helped my mind relax. Sometimes that's all we need is just to relax. The body will say it. I'm tired. I just need to relax. Relaxation is what I needed. Did you accomplish that, Yamika? Good. Joanne, talk to me.
Sure. I think the sensation in my head, as you made me more aware of it, and then again, I could feel the air in my lungs, which you forget about when you're breathing. So breath is something we all need, but it's something we forget about.
Allison, talk to me. Beautiful Allison, talk to me.
Needed to feel calm, and now I feel ready for a nap.
I got to tell you, I was working with my daughter-in-law, and she was saying that she just needed peace. And so I'm going through this exercise with her for peace. And you see, I rock. You can tell that when I chant, I rock. It's a habit. I took it from my family. Whenever it starts, we go through our mantras, we rock. It's a relaxation. It's just like a mother that rocks the baby. So I rock myself as if I'm a baby. But working with my daughter-in-law, and she was saying, I just need peace. I just want peace. And we're chanting and chanting and chanting, and she's calling forth peace. And before I know it, she's chanted herself into a deep sleep. And I look over for, my mother, and my mother has gone to sleep as well. And I say, if your mantra is strong, it will affect everything outside of you. Everything and everyone outside of you will be affected by it in some shape, way, form, or fashion. So I wake my mother and I say, Mom, what were you chanting? She said, oh God, I forgot to chant for me. She said, I was chanting so much for Misha that she said, I'm chanting and watching Misha. She said, there's some kind of way. She said, I fell asleep. I don't know how it happened. And I said, Misha needed peace, and it gave it to you. And they were like that for the whole night. I was talking to a couple of zombies. They had gotten so into it. And I said, wow, that was, it was great. So you can use your mantra to call it forth for yourself and for all of the areas outside of you. Next week, when we come back. And believe it or not, you wrote this mantra. I know you were expecting to use pen and paper in order to do it, but you don't need pen and paper for your mantra. Your body calls for the mantra. That's why it's called musical yoga. You're asking your body and your mind and your spirit what it is you need. And as you start to breathe, your body will begin to tell you. The thing about this is you cannot take it off so easily. You don't want to just snatch yourself out of it. What you want to do is ease yourself into your mantra by lowering your volume. You'll lower your volume. You will stretch out the notes until they become, as we call it, well-rounded. And once they complete the circle, you'll start to count your own self down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, all the way to 1. And when you get to 1, you take a deep breath, you blow it out, you claim your mantra for the day, and then you do what we call as give libations, which is just simply thanking yourself for being able to listen to yourself, and not just listen to yourself, but to finally hear and breathe and live in yourself and in your mantra. Alicia, you wanted surrender and you gave in to it. There's more surrender to come. There's a lot more to come, and you're reaching for it. You want it, and I know it's emotional for you. Go ahead and let it run its course. Yumika, you definitely, relaxation. Go ahead and keep calling for it. Keep calling for it. Raquel, keep working on the faith of it. Rich?
So I have a couple of things. We do have an assignment for you, and that would be to practice your mantra. And when you're practicing, this was a guided session. You'll be on your own. And a couple of things to remember. One is to settle into it and settle out. So when you sit in your chair, wiggle around a little bit, find that comfortable position. Maybe put your hands down on your legs as a place to hold them. When the Buddhists meditate, they put their hands together like this with the right hand on top in their lap. But whatever is comfortable for you. And when you're practicing, I'll start out with maybe if you have a timer, set a timer for 5 minutes to give you a sense of how well you're doing. And there's a concept here that we have to all practice, and that is forgiveness. When you try to meditate, when I used to meditate way back in college, when I was studying religion and we were doing Eastern religions, and I tried to meditate, and my mind would wander off. I'd forget what I was doing, and I would be so annoyed with myself. It wasn't until years later that I learned, well, no, you have to practice, and you have to practice coming back. And you have to start by forgiving yourself for wandering off. So if you have a little puppy and you say sit to the puppy, and the puppy like wanders away, you don't shake the puppy and put it back. You just gently place the puppy back down, pat it on the head, say sit. Eventually the puppy understands. I don't know the ins and outs of actual dog training. You get the idea. You're training your mind. Your mind really is pre-trained to wander and find a million things to think about. So it's going to happen as you're practicing. Don't lose heart, forgive yourself, and return and start again. And eventually you will build up more concentrated time, and it won't be linear. It won't be like this. It's going to be like that, because different things are happening in your life and making it more or less easy to concentrate. Okay. How are we doing? We're a little over on time. Kelly.
We are. Well, thank you so much to Rick and Cynthia for, helping me through this, and as I'm sure helped many here on the call. So thank you so much to the wonderful Cynthia and Rick. We are so grateful to you. And this will be the end of the session. If you would like to stay and ask some questions, if that's okay, if you have any. If not, you are free to go, and good luck with your mantras. And you can stop your